then it seemed like things started to go downhill soon after we got up to 10 hives. So like with anything, you just have to kind of get through the rough patches and there'll be losses, but well, hey there and welcome to Solitude Acres. Thanks for tuning in today. We have a video we want to bring to you to kind of update you on some things that have been happening to our beehives. But first of all, I just want to thank you to our subscribers if you've been watching our channel for a while. So we put out a pretty good amount of videos recently. A lot of it was us extracting our honey and bottling it for a pretty good amount of what we got this year. We were super thankful to have. So if you are new to our channel and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. We do try to have a variety of videos. We do have some ambience videos. We've had some bird watching videos as well, but also some gardening and other things. But most importantly, we are a beekeeping family, and we do like to share with you our journey of beekeeping. That's the main focus of our channel right now. We've had a little bit of a slowdown in our beekeeping. Obviously, after we pulled our honey, we've really had to just try and treat some issues basically that we've had with the hives. Our last few videos that we posted recently are about our nukes, which are, for those of you that don't know, in beekeeping, those are basically smaller hives. They're not a full-size hive. We had some of our nukes for resource hives basically, where we'd be able to pull whether it was honey or brood from those resource hives and put them into our bigger full-size hives. But we started having some issues with the hives, and so we haven't been recording it the last month or two especially. We've lost some queens and lost some hives. We were at max 10 hives, and then it seemed like things started to go downhill soon after we got up to 10 hives. So Dad can kind of fill you in on all those details.
Yeah, as Kira said, we had built up to 10 hives based on splits. There was one instance that we thought we didn't have a queen in the hive. We bought a queen for that hive. Come to find out, when we came back, we ended up finding a queen. So we had to do a split to give her her own little nuke. Seemed like we were doing good, and then we started noticing some of the hives weren't flying as well. Got in there and looked, population was dropping, queens weren't laying for whatever reason. So we ended up going down to 5 hives, including the nukes, losing all but one of the resource hives. And then we've actually just replaced a queen that was one of our queens from last year that we actually started beekeeping with. It wasn't producing, so we changed her. And then in Gabriel's green hive, she just wasn't doing her thing. She looked fine. She looked like she should have been laying better, but she just wasn't laying at all. So we got a new queen for her, which we're waiting for her to release this week probably. She's in the hive. And then we dealt with wax moss on the hives that got weak, so we had to deal with that. Moving frames, shrinking boxes down, hives down to single deeps on a few of them. Some of them were working that way to go into fall and get them to build back up. What I figured out anyways is when I had double deeps on there, and actually some of them actually had a medium on there too, it was like there was too much space and the bees were so spread out, they weren't paying attention to defending their hives, so stuff was getting in there. At least that's what I'm thinking happened to a couple of them. So we're reducing them back down. We may try that next year, is just once we get honey, just start shrinking them down to single deep, or maybe a single deep and a medium, to see if that helps condense the population so there's more of them in one location to help defend and stop some of this other stuff from happening. I mean, we've learned from the positive stuff, the getting of honey and better ways to do that, but it was still a good experience, to getting bees through 4 hives last year, our first year, through winter, and they were all doing pretty good. And then issues started happening. So we've also are trying to learn and figure out stuff and talking to other bee people when we've had issues, figure out what those are so we can address those in the future and maybe be more aware of what's coming. It's been an enjoyable journey so far. As much as my wife doesn't want to get on camera, she gets in there sometimes. And even my son-in-law, who's a little bit leery of bees, he's been in a few of them in the background here or there. And so it's a family affair and we really enjoy it. This next year, we're actually, some friends of Kira's are possibly wanting some bees. They do a lot of non-chemical farming on their fruit trees and garden and all this stuff, and they got chickens and stuff. And so we're probably putting a couple hives down there with them. They're a few miles away from here, so we may get a different type of honey, may get more honey, may get less than the honey. I don't know. We'll see what the environment is, but just going to be another thing of experimenting. We're excited to have them there. We'll probably maybe even show them when they come over here in a few weeks, to showing them the hives, getting them excited about it, because they'll probably be in some of the videos that we do, over the next year or two down there at their house, until they're ready to take it on themselves and have their own bees. So it'll be fun, kind of, I don't want to say mentoring, but I guess it kind of is. As little as we know, mentoring them and helping them kind of move into possibly getting bees.
One cool thing we were able to do in the process of some of this frustrating stuff and figuring out about the hives is for the first time create our own honey labels. That was fun. We went online and kind of made up something, kind of a design. So for those of you that maybe are new to beekeeping and you're looking to make your own labels, if you want to check out canva.com, they're free. They're a good option for you to create some sort of design, and then you can save it and put it on a website for you to be able to make labels, which is what we did. So
and look at your state rules or your area, whatever your government is that control
regulations
for labeling.
Yeah,
so you get the right contact, font size, all that stuff.
Yeah, they have certain regulations you kind of have to follow with that, so make sure you do look into that. But it's been nice being able to give people honey or see what family and friends are interested in our honey and be able to kind of share that with them, and they're super excited to get it from us. So it's encouraging, I think, for the hard times when it's just like, oh, we don't know what we're doing and things seem a little bit uncertain, is to know, like with anything, you just have to kind of get through the rough patches, and there'll be losses, but there'll be years where things will kind of perk up and be really good, and you just kind of have to do that. And is it worth your time and energy and money? We're trying to look out a little bit on how big we want this to be. We want it to be manageable for us as a family. I don't think we don't want to get commercial size in the honey making business right now, but it's just 1 year at a time.
Seeing as some of the harder part of the season down, the busier part is winding down. I mean, we're still dealing with frames, cleaning up boxes, storing frames that already have comb on them so we can have those ready to go this next year, and the bees don't have to waste time building out comb. They'll already be ready to go, and they can just start working them, whatever they're going to put in there, whether it's brood, whether it's honey, pollen, whatever they need. They don't have to waste energy and resources building the comb, so that's going to be a plus. As they say, and everybody hears it all the time, comb is king, and it's true. We found that out last year. When you don't have it, it slows everything down because the bees have to waste their time. So that caused me to start thinking about the future and prepping for stuff, so I'm thinking, do we need to maybe raise a few of our own queens next year and make bank hives to where we always have queens available for us, so we don't have to go spend the money buying them, or if we know somebody that needs a queen, maybe we can help them out. I had purchased what is called the Keeper's Hive, which is a group of guys out of Pennsylvania. They were taking pre-orders because they had to get enough money to get them built, and they're actually having an Amish company build the boxes. So we're going to be getting one of those. We'll do a video on that. We'll get it. Probably won't be till November, maybe beginning of December before we get it. So we may not be able to transfer bees into that hive until early spring or end of winter. But that's an exciting possibility of just, again, trying something new. We did end up getting a stainless steel storage container that'll hold 9 gallons. It's got a pour spout on it. So what we'll do is when we extract honey, we'll put it in 5-gallon buckets. It'll be strained once there. We'll take that 5-gallon bucket, dump it in to the 9-gallon container, filter it again as it's going in there, and then we'll see what it's like. If it needs to be filtered again, we'll filter it again. If not, it may be ready to bottle straight out of there, which will be good. The other thing we got, and I think we said this way back when we first got our Viver extractor 2 years ago, that we were thinking of 1 to 2, maybe 3 years we'd get out of that. It's working fine. It's done us good these 2 seasons. Granted, we didn't put it to heavy work, but it's still doing good for what we needed. We ended up getting a 18-frame HillCo extractor. It's one of their newer ones, and we'll be doing an unboxing of that at some point and showing that. HillCo's a American-owned company. They do outsource their stainless steel parts to somewhere. I don't know where they get them from, probably overseas. It's a high-quality grade steel compared to some of the ones that are lower grade.
The Viver one is good for starting out, but you can definitely feel that it's not made to last.
Well, it's not as high quality, yes.
But this one's heavier duty. It's going to give us
a much longevity. We won't have to replace it. They stand behind their parts. They manufacture everything here. Their control unit, I think they do build that themselves. We'll talk through that more when we do a video on it. But again, it's planning for the future, and that's one thing I encourage anybody out there that's getting into beekeeping. When you get into slow times, think about your future. I've got to get better at record keeping. I'm horrible at it. In my head, it's there.
I even got him a record keeping book for Father's Day.
Yes.
And have you written in it?
Maybe once. But it's one of those things that you're doing things and you're in the yard, and you go deal with the bees, then you go back to the yard doing stuff. By the time you get at night, you don't even think about that, oh, I didn't do this. So maybe once we get to retirement, I'll have more time to think about doing those things instead of getting sidetracked.
I think that's why it's important to do it together.
Yep.
So unless you're a single person or maybe married couple and you just have like 2 or 3 hives and that's your focus and you don't have tons of other things going on in life, I think it's easier. When you have a lot more hives, it is good to do it as a family or do it with other people who are passionate about it, because you're able to bounce off seeing things that he may not see, things that I'll see, or vice versa.
Well, you
or
play
my,
different
or my
roles.
son, he will see things that we won't see. Kind of tag teaming when you're going in there, working maybe more efficiently and definitely quicker potentially. It's probably good to get in the habit of writing down, like he's saying, if you can do this, go inside, have lunch, write down while you're sitting there what you've done, because there has been a lot of moving around, mixing around things. You want to make sure you kind of know what you need to do, when you need to do it, what you've done.
Plan big, know your limitations at the time. You definitely shouldn't be getting into, as far as, don't go, I'm going to go get 50 hives this year, and you've only ever had 2. There's a whole lot more to that and a whole lot more to manage. You need a whole lot more gear.
Financially, you need a lot more too.
Yeah.
You do have to plan financially for certain things.
I mean, we only got 28 medium frames, I think is what we got of honey. That was actually off of pretty much 2 hives. There was, some here or there on some of the other hives, but that was, majority of that was off of 2 hives. So if we had 4 last year, only got honey off of pretty much 2, we could easily double our amount. And we know how to manage it more, get equipment on earlier, get the queen out of the upper deck much sooner. Kind of made that mistake this year. It's just planning ahead. At the same time, being excited about the possibilities. The disappointments are the disappointments. You think about it, but then let it go and don't let it hold you back. Beekeeping is definitely a journey I've heard a ton of times by people doing it 30, 40 years, and it's constantly learning.
We do have, obviously, like he said, my friends who are interested in taking a couple hives from us. We'll be transporting them to their house, basically just letting them sit over the winter, getting acclimated to their land. Then in spring, obviously we'll have to go over there, make sure that they have everything that they need, and just let the bees go on these fruit trees and other things that they have on their acreage. We obviously will share what we can if we have any updates about what we're doing. Hopefully the 2 nukes that we got recently are going to do really well, and we can, maintain their strength over the fall and the winter time.
Something we're trying this year, we'll probably be overwintering 3 5-frame nukes, which we didn't do last year, so that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Don't know the guy personally, but watch his videos all the time. His name's Sam at South Carolina Happy Bees. He's an old timer when it comes to doing bees, and he has a ton of 5-frame nukes, and he has no problems. He actually likes them that way because he can manage them quicker and easier. And we're going to try and maintain some resource hives this next year, because it's really good to have that, so you're not pulling from your main hives, that you can just use them. You can pull resources and stuff over to help keep the other hives going. That's what they're there for. And that's also where you can bank some queens, a queen in each one. And if you do need a queen right then, hey, if she's good enough to pull out and move to a hive that has to have a queen, one of your production hives, there's obviously going to be enough eggs and larvae in there that hive, that resource hive, is going to make another queen.
So make sure that you stay in tune. I'm not sure what all videos we are going to put out, but I do know that we are going to do a potato harvest video soon. It'll be our 2nd year doing potatoes, and I'm going to be planning a fall garden as well, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And we'll definitely do a video of us transporting the bees over to Shiloh Farms is the name of their farm, so my friends, so they will be ready and raring to get the bees on their land this fall. So we'll do a video about that so you can see us transporting those, and we are going to pray that that all goes smoothly and works out really well for them. So I guess we'll wrap up for now. Make sure that you like this video, and if you aren't subscribed yet, make sure that you do and click that bell so you know when we release our next video. Leave us a comment if you're in beekeeping or if you're new to our channel, and also just be encouraged if you are beekeeping and you haven't been doing it for very long. Hope this video can just encourage you to keep going and get help from your community, help from other beekeepers. There's a lot of other good beekeepers out there, even on YouTube. Comment and get advice as much as you can, and
watch the other videos.
Watch other videos.
Maybe you'll learn something, maybe you won't.
Either way, it's good to support each other as a beekeeping community. So we thank you and appreciate you for stopping by today, and we will see you in our next video. Until then, be blessed.
See ya. Have a great day.